I will now go, in some ways, I had to do it this way, now call upon Greg Preslin, Chair of the Waitakere Local Board, so we're in local board input now, and we'll hear from Greg. Greg, if you could maybe, if there's anything new to add, and I'm sure there is always something new to add, and you've been sitting here for most of the presentation, I think, and you've heard the territory that we've already canvassed. So if there's anything new to add, please raise that now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, councillors, for this opportunity. I am here in support of the input that you've just received concerning the Pātarawa Kauri. The Waitakere Rangers Local Board passed 3 resolutions on the 24th of April, and I wrote to the councillors and the mayor on that shortly afterwards, giving details of those resolutions. They were that we urge council to reinstate the significant ecological area on 40 Pātarawa Road. We urge the reinstatement of the significant ecological area on the road reserve outside of that property, and we also sought to nominate the other 2 roadside kauris for inclusion in the notable tree schedule, and you've heard a lot this morning about those 2 particular kauri. I don't need to talk much about Awhiawhi. I believe that the previous speakers went through that aspect of the history in very good detail. I would like to concentrate on the roadside kauri, however. I note the comment that we should leave the fate of those 2 trees to resource consent processes. And can I urge us to take a step back from that and to think that if the owner of 40 Pātarawa Road has the right to cut a tree, then surely Auckland Council, as the owner of those 2 trees, has the right to say that we don't want those trees felled and that we should exert sovereign rights over those trees and over their future. And I appreciate that, like everything else that council does, there are legal issues and there are provisions of the Local Government Act which make that particular argument more complicated. But can I urge everyone here to take that as a starting point? These 2 trees are quite magnificent species. They're hundreds of years old. The site itself is a very difficult site. It is very steep. Without those 2 trees, you would need significant concrete and retaining work done. And in a time where we are losing kauri left, right and centre to kauri dieback in the area, the thought that council should be a party to the felling of 2 magnificent kauri that are healthy fills me with a great deal of concern. So that is the one particular aspect I would like to raise for everyone to think about, and that is that because these kauri are ours, that we should stay back and we should say that we don't want to put them to the vagaries of the Resource Management Act process, that we want to exert stronger rights over them. And just finally, in relation to that process, there's the 2 kauri. One of them is partially protected by a significant ecological area overlay. The other is not. So when a commissioner received an application concerning a kauri that is not in an SEA and that is not a notable tree under the unitary plan, a commissioner may think that that kauri is of lesser protection than it should otherwise have. And I would not like us to put the situation forward where that was the result, because that could mean that one kauri is protected but the other is not, because it does not have the sorts of protections which magnificent kauri normally ought to have, because of the way that the unitary plan changes have unravelled over the last few years. And finally, if I could just comment that about 4 years ago, I wrote to Auckland Transport expressing an interest on behalf of the local board in those 2 kauri, and the response that I've received has been less than encouraging. So that's basically all I wish to say to you today, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Greg. Questions of the Chair? Councillor Walker.
I missed the first part, Greg, but just in respect of the possibility of purchasing the property, or at least negotiations with the landowner, has the local board been involved in anything, or would they have an interest in leading something like that?
No, we haven't been involved in it, and the prices I've heard for the property raise your eyebrows, shall I put it that way. I own a property nearby to that with a completed house, and the prices I've heard are not dissimilar. So we wouldn't have the capital for a start to buy the property. And I think we need to think about better solutions than that. But one option could be to think about leasing the property for 3 years. Obviously, the Kauri has a great deal of scientific interest in it, and the lease would allow scientists to be able to assess it and work out why it's surviving, why the ring barking did not kill it, and why in an area where there's a lot of Kauri dieback, it's so far immune.
So has there been any approach about leasing the property?
No. We leave it to you.
Thank you. Other questions of Greg? There being none, would somebody like to move receipt? I'll, Councillor Professor Collins, Councillor Fletcher seconding. Greg, thank you, and thanks for being as committed as your constituents on this. Thank you. Thank you. All those in favour say aye. 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 Contrary, no. Declare that carried. We'll take 10 minutes. We'll adjourn for 10 minutes, and we'll come back at in 10 minutes. I just can't quite see this time. 10 minutes.